My family came across from England in 1685. There are two branches of the Reeves family. I'm from the northern branch. We landed on Southampton, Long Island, and the family came across the island, up the Hudson, and across the Mohawk in 1791. Along that path lies the majority of my family's story. After arriving here in 1685, my families throughout the various genealogical permutations of my line married all up and along that. So it is safe to say that the heart of my family is the Mid-Atlantic and New England. In the course of doing so, of the 16 primary branches of my family, I have 12 compatriot ancestors. So it is safe to say, by any measure of any bona fide, that what runs in my veins is revolutionary blood. And I stand before you at the moment, in this room with you fine people, because you have exactly the same circumstances. It is safe to say that revolutionary blood runs in each of us as individuals, but more importantly, it runs through the collective ethos of the United States. If revolution is the lifeblood of America, then surely the hemoglobin, the constituent element at the center of it, is oratory. New compatriot polling invoked 1774, so I'm going to do the same in return. During the Second Colonial, better known as the First Continental Congress, which met at Philadelphia the 5th of September of 1774, William Pitt said the following: "History has always been my favorite study, and in the celebrated writings of antiquity I have often admired the patriotism of Greece and Rome. But, my lords, I must avow that in the master states of the world I know not a people or a senate who can stand in preference to the delegates of America assembled in General Congress at Philadelphia." Oratory is our national tradition. As a common people and as founders studied in the classics, liberal arts, and the humanities, it is at the center of our American fabric. Great words spoken by articulate people, not always great people, but articulate people, craftsmen of speech, can change everything. Indeed, revolutionary speech is at the heart of our national ethos and character. The curtailment of that speech is ever to our detriment, even when it causes us as individual citizens to seethe. The indictment of free speech, of public oratory of all manner, indicts our heritage and offends the principles of liberty upon which our very compatriot ancestors rested their way of life. One of our great charges, citizens and compatriots, it seems to me, as the historic beneficiaries of the liberties won by our compatriot ancestors, is to insist with vigor and might upon the extension of that right to all others, but most peculiarly and particularly to those who have been historically denied their voice, agency, and identity. We as a nation, led by our founders, stood forthright and clarion against a most powerful superpower on the face of the earth and said, "No, we will not obey, we will not comply, we will not sit down, we will not do what you consider appropriate or nice, we will not come to heel to allow our dignity, our individual liberty to be oppressed just because you've always had the privilege and power." My work as a revolutionary educator is to change systems, to break rules, to uplift the oppressed, and to have hard conversations. My family, as I indicated, as was yours, was born fighting, born of fighters, and willing to wage not just the war of arms, but a war of character, and yes, as we've seen here this evening, my friends, a war of words. I entreat our emerging leaders, 3 of whom are gathered here tonight, to use your words to empower and uplift the others who may not have the opportunity to do so. For as we speak, we all gain our voice, as is the great center of our American tradition.